Greetings, Ben Murray here with another edition of SaaS Metric School. Welcome. Today we're talking about revenue and variable based revenue or usage based revenue. So, what happens when we have variable revenue and we have tiers in place, but then we have usage that exceeds those tiers? How do we report that? How do we track that? How do we record that as revenue? And this is kind of reminds me of Clavio and of course their SWOT, and everyone dove into their numbers and metrics where they have a subscription model and it looks like some component of usage revenue or variable revenue that it could exceed those usage tiers. So it's interesting in their example, they're a very transactional based platform where they're sending SMSs, they're sending emails. So you think it'd be all usage based, but it's actually subscription based. So, in those instances, which is very common where we have subscription that covers a certain quantity of transactions, but what if customers exceed that? How are we going to track and report that revenue? And in that case, I always like to track it in detail based on product IDs and SKUs that are specific to that excess revenue above those minimums. And I'm going to post that to different general ledger accounts in my revenue structure so we can track that separately because I'd rather not post that excess as subscription revenue. Now, maybe we roll it up into a general recurring bucket, but at the detail level, I want to track that separately from subscription revenue. And then, of course, that gives you the flexibility to roll it up different ways on your P&L. But again, this is usage revenue. It's not subscription revenue. So we need to track it separately. And one, because we need to provide that clarity to third parties who are reading our financial statements that this is technically not all subscription revenue and fixed revenue. And also, this is going to affect our metrics. If we think about our MRR schedule and retention, gross dollar retention, net revenue retention, this is going to affect how we calculate those metrics. So, again, when I calculate retention, for example, my MRR schedule, I'm going to do it by distinct revenue streams. So, subscription, then I'll do it on any usage, and then I'll combine it and see if it tells a better story. So at the very detailed level, when we have that excess usage, I want to code that to a different product ID or SKU, which then maps to a different general ledger account in the revenue section of my P&L. And then I have the flexibility again to roll it up any different way, but I don't want to code that into a subscription revenue account. And we lose clarity, we lose definition on the type of revenue that we're generating in our business. So look at your pricing model, look at your revenue structure, and do need to consider a little bit more detail so you can track the revenue to this level of detail. And also then make sure you don't skew your metrics down line if you've got a bunch of commingled revenue streams. So I hope you enjoyed this episode today. Thanks.